Good afternoon, Stitch Roadies. Thanks for stopping by. I love the company, you know I do. Well, it is another dip into winter, supposedly this week, although it's fairly dry outside. Supposedly this week in the evenings, it is going to drop into the 20s. Yeah, so cold. I'm saying cold. But I know a lot of you are dealing with a lot colder weather than that. So yeah, the world is kind of a little bit crazy in the news. So I decided, hey, it might be a time for me to uplift my soul and maybe a few of you with a Stitch Roadie video. I have been all over the board. I hope you have your snack and your drink, and I hope you went to the restroom. And those of you that watch me while you're working out, and I know there are some of you, you're going to be able to have a cupcake tonight because I'm going to be jibber-jabbering. A lot has changed for me this week, and part of it is because of the Flosstube community. I actually had some time to peruse Flosstube, and I have to tell you, that is the best thing about Flosstube, is that you learn so much, not only about cross stitch, but about yourself too. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing. So I was watching lots of Flosstube this week, and I know that I think it was Jeanette. I did take some notes because, oh my gosh, so much was sparking my fire. So Jeanette was asking me if I stitch all day, or, you know, how do I stitch? Is it like I start in the morning and I'm stitching on through? And I have to say, no. Very rarely does that happen for me, where I come in here to the beehive and I say, I'm going to quilt, and I quilt all day. Yes, there are days that are like that where I get hyper-focused and there's nothing in my schedule that's going to call me away, and I do that, but it's not common. Most often I am doing 15-minute bites. It's like I walk in here, I stitch a little bit, I get distracted, and I go do something somewhere else. I put a load of laundry in, or I call a friend, I have to run to the store, I suddenly think, oh, I need some crafts. Yes, but I always come back and take another bite. I learned this method of stitching from a friend named Sandy, who lives on the other side of the mountain. And I used to tour people's quilt rooms. And she had her quilt room in a fairly small room near the kitchen. She had rooms upstairs that she could turn into, you know, a quilt room. But she chose to have this room that was near the kitchen, and I asked her why she did that, and it was a lesson, a gift of a lesson, because she was prolific, beautiful stitching, quilting, everything. She does everything, and finishes huge projects. So what I got from her was that they are a farming family. She, like, back then, she was like cooking a big breakfast, everybody out the door to do their jobs. Back in there, she's cooking lunch, everybody out the door. She was doing a lot of books, and, you know, it's a working farm. So how did she get so many projects done? It's because her quilt room was right near her kitchen, and she took 15-minute bites. Anytime she had 5 or 10 minutes, she'd take a few stitches. Things were in progress, and she accomplished so much. So I kind of embraced that because we tend to think that, oh, I don't have time to sit down and do all of that, and so then we don't do it. But sometimes if it's just a stitch or two, you feel progress, and I learned that lesson from her. And so that's what I do. I'm a little bite person most of the time. Like I came in today, I went downstairs to do something, then I came back up here and I did a little bit more, and then I was thinking I had to help with paperwork, so I went back downstairs, and then I came back up here. I talked to my sister. So that's how it goes. That's how it goes. But anytime I come in here, I maybe organizing, or I'm planning, or I'm taking a stitch or two. No big miracle going on here. No big miracle going on here. I been paying attention to market releases. I did buy a PDF download because of one of my high school classmates sent me a picture, and I love Luminous Fiber Arts. I love all of her projects, and she released one called Gathering Honey. You'll have to go look at it. And it's just a little pillow, and I download the PDF because I gotta do it, you know. It's so cute. And they're fairly, I mean, it's not going to take me a year to get it stitched, if you know what I mean. Do you notice my bifocals? Yeah. I picked up my glasses. Maybe I showed you this already. But I asked the optometrist, you know, or the person working where I picked them up. I didn't realize they were going to have a line in them. And I said, is it better to have the progressives where people don't know you're old? But I got the distinct impression that he was looking at me and he was saying, you are old. You are old. And he explained to me that the line is a little bit better than the progressives because you have this distinct line, so your lower part's a little bit bigger or something, but they are a game changer for me. I had no idea that I was not seeing the television very well. So when I stitch at night, I can stitch and look up at the TV, and it's like the world has opened up for me. And what I didn't understand until I asked him was, I said, so what magnification is down here? And he said, they're not done that way. They're actually made to your eye specifications, your stigmatism, which is interesting to me because I had no idea, because I was moving up more and more in the stronger and stronger readers. Well, I see clearer with these than I did with, I was up to like 3.25 going on to 3.5, and I had bought a pair of 4s, but I see so clear with these because they're done for my eyes, which I guess it didn't even dawn on me. It didn't even dawn on me. So yeah, I'm loving them. I don't care if they make me old. I get to watch TV and stitch. So, yeah. And they look pretty good. I know a lot of you have jumped on the stars bandwagon. Oh my gosh. There is nothing better than giving yourself stars. I tell you, I didn't get any stars when I was little. In fact, when I was in first grade, I spent a good portion of the time sitting in a chair in the back of the room with Scotch tape on my mouth. Yes, Scotch tape on my mouth. It was horrible. Now you know why I jibber jabber. It's all that pent up jibber jabber, and yeah. But where was I going with that? Where was I going with that? Anyway, I've been working a lot on things, and the stars are like, I can't even tell you how awesome it feels to give myself stars. And this is the first time that I've ever kept a journal up in this way, and it's because of the stars. So I have, on this side here, I put my finishes, my FFOs, and my new starts. And yes, I have 3 new starts so far this month, soon to be more than that. And then in the back is where the stars really shine. I have all my whips, and as I add a new start, I include it on the list. And then the gold stars are only used if I've got a finish. Yeah, if I've got a finish, I get a gold star. But the interesting part about all this is that it really shows me where my focus is, because here, look at this. Look at this. This is diligent. Yeah, I am very focused on that. And there's other things that I need to start taking a look at. But yeah, it just makes me feel good. And look at, here we go. Gold star. 2 gold stars. 2 gold stars, because I've finished 2 of the Prairie years. We all deserve stars. We do. We all deserve stars. I've got a lot of stuff laying around here to show you. But the learning curve for me this last week was from Flosstubes. So I was watching Denise, and the Black Ribbon Stitch Studio. She is just the sweetest. She is just the sweetest thing. And she was talking about charts as a collection, and my brain exploded. Because, there is that voice in the back, and I know that all of you have that sometimes, that I don't need another chart. But if you look at a chart as part of your collection, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to do it. You have hopes of doing it. You love it. But its initial purpose is to be part of your collection. It's kind of like people who collect teacups. They don't drink out of every cup. Any kind of collection is bringing joy by the sheer collection of it. And I just loved that. I just love that. So between the stars and the fact that Denise said I have a collection, I have been having some fun. Hence, the honey gathering that my classmate Danielle sent me a picture of. Yes, must have. And then I think it was Marcy who told me there was a market release of all these bee phrases. And when I was reading the phrases, I was trying to decide, do I really need this? Do I really want this? Does my collection need a new edition? And I came to the line in the center that said, mind your own beeswax. Must have immediately. Contacted Janine at Acorns and Threads, who's going to market, and told her must have, add it to the list. So now I have to see what else is coming out. Yes, I have to see what else is coming out. So I'm looking down here at all this pile of stuff, and I might as well start showing you what I've been up to. So you know that it has the most stars because I've been very focused on it. Not monogamously, but very focused. And this is Diligent. I just love the thread is anchor thread. Anchor thread, I was going through all my A words. Anchor thread. This just looked, I saw it for the first time stitched up in the attic in Mesa. And I just fell in love with it, and I knew I was going to have to do it. And so I picked it up there, and all of the anchor threads and the fabric. But what I didn't know was that in the comments of the last video was the fact that Lorraine from Rags to Stitches said that this particular chart was stitched by her friend Susan Richardson, who passed away after she had stitched it, and so Needlework Press was the one that published it. It makes me even more bonded to the project. So let me show you where I've gotten. I am now at a house. See, I'm doing the window panes on that house. And what's very interesting about this is that this is exactly how long the piece is, and that house is at the bottom of the chart. So it's long and narrow. I just love it. I love the colors. As soon as I'm done with that house, I am going to go back to another set of alphabet. It's like Lisa, Kindred Stitcher, she says, what does she say about houses, or she's stitching 12 acres of grass, you know. Sometimes it does feel like that, doesn't it? And because of Lisa, I went off on another tangent of hunting down this chart that by Blackbird Design, this book, and I was so blessed because I could not find it anywhere. But Trudy found one and sent me a copy, and Trudy, I love it. I love it. And this is the project that I'm working on. What I love about this project is that there's a couple of the hearts are specialty stitches, and so it's like me just dipping my toe into specialty stitches. I'm kind of excited about it. But the problem that I came across was, and I'm doing this with, if you see on Instagram, Linda, aka Van Mom. Hope I said that right. I was going to do it for the call for Floss, which was mulberry. But I only had 1.5 skeins of mulberry. And when I was talking to Janine, she said, you're going to want to get all the same dye lot. And so I said, okay, give me 6 mulberries. And she said, no, that's not going to happen because there's no mulberry. And there was no mulberry. Mulberry is like Garden Gate. And she said, we don't know when we're going to get any mulberry in. So maybe let's do a conversion. And Janine is the queen of conversions. And so she helped pick out something. She knew kind of what I liked, and so she picked out NPI Silks, and it's oh, where's my new glasses? NPI Silks, Chinese Red Range. And so that came in, and I went and picked it up, and I continued on. I had already started it with the mulberry, so I decided that I was not going to rip out the L in Love. I was going to keep it there and then stitch with the NPI and see how much it bothered me that it was a different thread. And so far, it's not bothering me at all. So there's my ever so little start. But I love it. I love it. I love this project. And thank you, Trudy, for making my dream come true. Yeah. Yeah, so I really enjoyed the Olympics. I didn't watch it every single day, I have to admit, but I enjoyed a majority of it. And I was reminiscing about being in China, because I think I was in China the year before the Summer Olympics. I think it was the 2008 Summer Olympics in Beijing, and I think I was there in 2007 because Beijing was being overhauled for the Olympics. It was amazing what was going on there. They were prepping. It's like when a city gets picked for an Olympic venue, it's for, first of all, they have to like showcase and all of that, and so I was there the year before the Olympics because they had already built the Nest, which was the big facility for a lot of the competition. And when we were landing in Beijing, I remember I could not even see the ground, and I thought there was just so much smog when you looked out the window. You felt like you could cut the air, but it wasn't just smog. It was that when the sand blows off the Gobi Desert, it blows that direction, and so the air is just thick. So everybody wears masks. Even babies in carriages have a mask on. It's like you don't see babies pulling the mask off. It's like part of everyday life, which it was so interesting for me to reminisce back to that, you know. And they were building, tons of high-rise hotels to accommodate all the visitors and the participants to the Olympics. So it was definitely a city in transition, and just a fascinating place to be and to watch in that way. I remember that, and I probably told you this already before, sometimes I wonder how many times I repeat myself, but I remember now that we're headstrong into climate change and water issues everywhere, boy, down in Arizona and Southern California, water's a big problem. But back in 2007, I remember thinking at that time our next crisis would be water, because it cost me more for a bottle of water than it did for a bottle of Coke. And I remember thinking how bizarre that was. And they really, in restaurants, they did not want to give you, you had to pay for a glass of water, you know. Well, I came home from that trip, and from that point, when I got home, I never ran my bathroom sink while I brushed my teeth. I never thought about it before. I used to turn the sink on, brush my teeth, the water's running, I'm brushing my teeth, you know. But after that trip to China, I started shutting the water off when I brushed my teeth. As I said, wow, we're going to be in a world of hurt someday if this water thing doesn't get straightened out. Okay, I digress. I finished I'm kind of bouncing around, no list, not following a list, but I finished my book, Crying in H Mart. I can't tell you how much I love this book. It's a New York Times bestseller, and actually the author lived here in Eugene, Oregon, which was even more incredible to me. It is a very cultural book in that the author is half Korean. And so it is a lot about that culture of being half, of adjusting and understanding your ethnic half. But this book could be enjoyed by any person who's in relationship in a family, because it's rich with family relationship. Let me just tell you that. And H Mart, I can't tell you, H Mart. H Mart is a large Korean grocery store, Asian grocery store. And so last week, there is one on the other side of the river. I think there are two in Oregon. So last week, G knew I was wanting to go to H Mart. So he drove me to H Mart. I had not been in an H Mart in years. And there's no H Mart on the other side of the mountain. It was like, the smells, I was like a kid in a candy store. I just couldn't tell you how excited I was, and all the food, the things that I had forgotten how much I loved, I rediscovered again. And so now I know H Mart's going to be a regular trip for me. But I would recommend this book. It is a great book. It is a great book. Now I'm trading it with my daughter-in-law's mother for a book she just finished reading that I want to read. And so we're trading books. Isn't that the best? I was reading the comments, which I absolutely love. Thank you so much, everyone, for reading the comments. And if you have time, it's fun to read them, to get information. I may not be timely with them, but I read them all, and I enjoy them. And every so often I pick up little nibbits of suggestions or laugh out loud moments. And so Alice was talking about my line keeper, and this line keeper is by the Fat Quarter Shop. It came in a kit, and what it is it's a magnetic strip that you can put across a chart so that you don't have to keep trying to find yourself to stitch the next line. But I loved Alice. Alice said she uses a music stand, Genius, with a magnetic strip, and she says it prevents her from Waldoing her chart. I just started laughing because I love that. I love that thought. Waldoing, like where's Waldo? Looking for that last line you stitched. It just made me laugh out loud, huh? I have been a busy little bee because I need my stars. And tomorrow I am so excited because I've been invited to go to Cheryl's house with, we're calling ourselves the Cluckers because Cheryl has a nice little farm, little tiny farm, not so tiny, beautiful. She has chickens, she has gardens, she has Jake. You know, she's one half of Stitching with the Sisterlies. And so we're getting together to stitch, which, you know, don't you miss those times? They don't happen often enough anymore. So the fact that I get to do that tomorrow is extremely exciting. So I had to pack up for my stitchy date. When I travel, any kind of traveling, I like to take my Yazzie bag for a couple of reasons. One is the bag is sturdy. Sturdy, has a handle, has a gazillion pockets. In fact, I could take probably 3 or 4 projects in a bag. And when I travel internationally or domestically on a plane, it fits under the seat perfectly. It takes the banging and the hauling and the throwing around, and it's lightweight. So you guys remember this. This is my Yazzie bag, my cross-stitch Yazzie bag that I took a cross-stitch chart from the Fat Quarter shop, and after I stitched it, I made it into a little quilt, and then I slip-stitched it to the cover of my Yazzie bag. See the handles and stuff. But the great part about this Yazzie bag is all of the pockets. These pockets. So I have needles, glasses, and I only have one project in here now, and so that's why it looks so empty. But I could easily fit 3, 4 projects. All these pockets, and then I have my chart. Here's another pocket. My floss. But the project I'm taking over to Cheryl's is the one she's salling. She started this sal, and it's called the Generation Sal, and by Twin Peaks Primitives. So I thought it was appropriate that I take this one to her house. So I got it all organized and packed up. And it's all protected, and I love that each of these pockets has a clear, and the zippers open both ways, you know, so this zipper goes to the center and this comes, which however you want to do it. And got my needle threader. It's just, it's very, very organized. So this is going on a cross-stitch journey tomorrow. Love it. And I'll put the links down for all of these things. So many fun things. Like gurgle, gurgle, gurgle. One of the starts I had this month was the full snow moon on February 16th. That's the first time I've seen that on a calendar. That's why it caught my eye, and immediately my brain went to, I gotta find a chart with a moon and snow in it. And I lucked out because I had one in my collection. O Tannenbaum. The best thing about this chart is that at Acorns and Threads they have the box that all these pieces fit into. So yes please, yes please. And this particular one here at the bottom has a moon and snow. Love it. So I'm now working on the house. Sweet little stitch. And once I get that panel done, I'll decide when I want to do the next ones. But I'll do them all on the same piece of fabric. And I love it in this this bag. This French General bag is so cute. And I know, let's see, where is it? It's on the little thread keep. Is it? No. Oh, there it is. It's Creative Creations by Chris. Creative Creations by Chris. I've been kind of busy. Yeah, kind of busy. Look at this. I have such awesome project bags. This one was a gift, and look at, it's a quilt block of a bee. Oh, definitely wanted to tell you about this project because someone asked me about the where I got the Schitt's Creek project, and I am a big Schitt's Creek fan. It is the most absurd, laugh out loud, I cannot believe it show. And when I need a lighthearted moment that totally cracks me up, that makes me feel good about myself, that's the show. And so there's the Etsy shop I got the download from. And I have to say, I'm loving this journey for me. I love the journey for me. I really love how the colors just pop on this fabric. This fabric is from Stitchville, USA, and it is a 28 count pewter. Just love it. I hope that I can find a a round frame for it, because that's what I really want to do, is put it in a round frame. I'm loving this journey for me. So you see, I've been working it. Yes, I have. Let's see. Oh, of course we have to discuss this project. The only project that I don't really keep track of, because it's a no-brainer for me, is the Prairie Schooler Santas. Because I stitch on that, whether it's only 1 stitch or 20 stitches. I only stitch on that when I have coffee in the morning. And this particular one, because, you know, we're out of Christmas, so not in that, oh, gotta get it done, it's taking me longer. It's taking me longer than others have, but I'm still stitching on it. Stitch here, stitch there every day. And according to Janine, there should be a Prairie Schooler 2022, although she hasn't seen or heard it. But she says they usually come out about May through August, around there. Maybe at market they'll find it. they'll find out some stuff about it. But hey, us Prairie Schooler Santa fans are all about it, aren't we? Here's my giant bag. This was gifted to me also. It's so awesome. And it's the perfect bag for this humongous piece of fabric because, you know, the Prairie Schooler Santa, not the Prairie Schooler Santa, the Prairie Year, hashtag Barb's Prairie Year from Barb Lost in Floss. So I've got 2 of them done, as you've seen on Instagram. Now I'm going to be starting the March one. And what I've decided to do, just to see, because I know this has been a big laugh for everybody, a shock for me, but a big laugh for everybody, is I'm not cutting this fabric down. I am leaving it one giant piece, and when I get all 12 done, I want to see how much fabric is left, because who knows, there may not be fabric left. We really don't know yet whether I overestimate it. We really don't. So I have decided just to keep going on this piece of fabric and see if I have any left over. Yeah. Because when I do cut a fabric, this is, see, Janine, they serged the whole edge. I don't want to cut it. I don't want to cut it. When I cut a piece of fabric down from a bigger piece, I don't have a serger. I don't want to do the zigzag thing on my sewing machine. I don't want to change the feet. I don't want to do that. So what I use is fray check. The little bottle you get at any craft or sewing store, and it takes me 2 minutes, and I fray check the whole outside edge. Done. Yeah. So next is the shamrocks. This is really fun. Ooh, and after that's the bunny, and then there's some roses. This is a really fun. Can't wait for the turkey. Yeah. I'm going to finish them all at one time. What I love about this bag is how big it is, because it now is appropriate sized for my Prairie Year fabric. And I can see inside. Yeah. Let's see. What do we got here? Oh, a new start. Did someone say new start? I think I'm going to have several new starts. Well, not several. Maybe a couple more. I don't seem to have any remorse over starting something. Where last year I spent all this time agonizing, you can't start something till you finish something. Once I started giving myself stars, oh baby, it was like it opened the floodgates of I need more stars, so I need more starts. And because my friend Trina from the Cotton Harvest up in Canada, she was so sweet to send me, she messaged me and said, give me a couple of your small charts and I'll convert the DMC to Cosmo so you can try the Cosmo thread, because I've never cross-stitched with Cosmo thread. And then she sent the Morgan locking hoop. Well, that's been a real game changer for me, because I'm a stitch in hand person, but I find it for myself a little bit harder to stitch in hand with linen. It's a lot more challenging for me, and it could be just me, but it's a lot more challenging. So the Morgan locking hoop is, it's got a ridge around it, so it kind of snaps into place, and then you tighten the little bolt at the top, the little lug nut, and it's lightweight. It's not hard like those kind of cheapy bamboo-y type hoops that you see in some of the stores. This is a very well made hard plastic kind of hoop that is so lightweight that your wrist and hand and fingers don't get tired holding it when you're stitching. I just think it's awesome. I just love it. And so I've been moving it around my projects. Like I use it on, some of the bigger projects and just move the hoop around. But I did start because I wanted to use the Cosmo thread. And so I had this project. C is for coffee. Heartstring samplery. I just love it. And so I got my Cosmo threads in my floss away bags because I use floss away bags to store my floss. And I love all the floss blings by As the U Flies, and this one's got some flowers. And see, then I've got all my Cosmo thread there. And I locked my fabric, and my fabric is 32 count vintage country mocha. And I just started ever so slightly. I'm going to keep continuing this afternoon with this. I love the richness of that Cosmo thread, and it almost feels like silk. It's so soft, and so I'm very much enjoying that. And thank you, Trina, for being so kind. Look at my bag. So bag, and then also gifted the little needle book. It matches the bag. It's so cute. Oh, so did I cover everything? I know that I promise by the next video we will have a giveaway. I'm waiting for a package from Fat Quarter Shop, and so that'll be fun. So be sure that you check if you are subscribed. You can check by looking at the button, and if it says subscribed, you're subscribed. But if it says subscribe, you're not. And then hit the bell, because one of the problems I've been having in the last year was that when I did giveaways, people would enter like they're excited about it, and then they don't follow up. And I know we all get busy and we forget what we're doing. But if you enter a giveaway, please be sure you're subscribed. And then if you just click that bell, it'll let you know when I upload another video so that you can say, oh, I entered a giveaway. I better go check if I might have won. So I'd appreciate if you would do that. Yeah. We're heading all this week. It's supposed to drop in the 20s at night. Brr. So my backyard has been in busy mode. I put out a squirrel feeder, which is this wire wreath with peanuts, and then corn on the cob, and then I put out some bird feeders, and it's been like a zoo of squirrels and birds out back there. It's interesting to me because on the other side of the mountain in Sisters, we didn't have squirrels. I never saw one squirrel in my yard, not one. A badger, a coyote, deer, lots and lots of deer. But here, a ton of squirrels. And they're kind of like the Hell's Angels of the backyard. It's kind of funny because the birds will be all like pecking away at the seed or at the suet block and sharing, and then blah, the squirrel comes in and he just like scatters everybody, you know, like, you're in my hood. Yeah. So it's been fun. I have binoculars out there and I watch them, and it's just really, and I had a coyote in my backyard, you know, so in some ways it's similar to where we came from. In other ways it's a little bit different. So I know I got woke up at 3:30 in the morning last week because this coyote was singing the song of a lonesome coyote. Oh my gosh, he was just, where's my girlfriend? Yeah. So it took me a while to fall back asleep after that. But other than that, the cold weather's keeping us more inside. It's spitting what I would call a combination of sleet and snow. Nothing that's gonna stick, but it's sure spitting it. Oh, it's interesting. Well, I hope you guys are staying warm where you're at. I think this afternoon I might take more peeks at what's coming down the pike from market. So many of them are just fabulous. Oh, and if you get a chance, don't forget to, you know, because I've been, you know, taking a peek down Flosstube Lane this last week. Check out Calm Creations Tia. This last week she had, okay, here's the two that you gotta watch. So, Calm Creations, her last video, she did a needle book and a pincushion tutorial, and she does excellent tutorials. So you're going to want to check that out. And she's just so pleasant. And then Stitchy Witch 42, my friend Audrey. I've saved the last video, but I have not watched it yet because I'm afraid. Because she does a tutorial on the Mill Hill bead ornaments. And she did an extensive, this is step by step. And so I do want to do that. I just don't want to do it today. And I know for a fact that if I watch it, I will go out and buy 10 Mill Hill kits. So I'm saving it for that moment when I think, I need to learn something new. And then I'm going to bring it back out for the Mill Hill beads. I think that's all I had been watching. Oh, I did. I watched Interview with the Flosstuber. Sue Stanley was the person being interviewed by Becca. And oh my gosh, she's a cross-stitcher and a quilter. And I'm here to tell you, I wish she had shown the quilt that was her favorite quilt. You'll have to Google it so you can see what it looks like. It's an incredible dedication to handwork, and it's called a Dear Jane quilt. Oh, I can't believe it. That's her favorite quilt, and she made one. More power to her. I'm gonna have to check out more stuff. I have not made one of those. I do not see one in my future, but boy, I want to know someone who did do that. Isn't that funny? Oh man. So it's been a week for us. We've had a lot of things going on, and yeah. I think it's time to stitch so that I can get more stars, and I hope that's the same for you. I hope you're doing well, and we'll see you next time with a giveaway. You guys all take care. Be sure to subscribe, hit the bell, and I can't wait to see you again. Love you guys.